Hello, this is Tony Myers on the Charisma Podcast Network, and this is Pushing Boundaries, Living Supernaturally. Every one of these podcasts are created to guide you to acknowledge your full healing. By his wounds, you were healed. So I want you to live that out. We aren't to live a life plagued by illnesses or injuries, but we are to live our lives with a healthy body. Moses, at 120 years old, had keen eyesight and strong muscles under the old covenant. We can attain that as well under the blood covenant of Christ. Today's episode is no different, but before I introduce today's topic, I want you to write down a miracle you've experienced in your own body. Do it right now. Every one of us has experienced a miracle at one time. Remember the miracle. Now, write down a specific area of your body you need a miracle. Then say to yourself, Jesus healed that, so I am healed of this. Send me an email at tonyjustbelieves@gmail.com with your miracle request, and I will speak life over that need. Let's talk about sports. I'm using sports today so that you can see how the healed mindset works, how believing comes before seeing. Now, this would hold true of any champion in any sport. They saw themselves as the best in their business, as a champion, long before they were crowned champion. You can look at anyone in any field of sports. They did not view themselves as a loser, even while they were losing. Muhammad Ali, for example, long before he was the greatest in his own mindset. And he never swayed from it. And using Ali, I dated myself. Muhammad Ali would literally, I am the greatest. I am the greatest. And he was believing it as he was saying it. Even while he was an unknown. When he defeated Lister was saying that he might be, before the match, that he might walk away from that match as a murderer. But yet, Muhammad Ali's mindset was he was the greatest. Even when no one else recognized he was the greatest. Now, his professional boxing career, he only had 5 defeats. That's somebody that you want to take an example from as far as a mindset. Muhammad Ali's mindset did not change and go up and down according to circumstances. And this would be true of all champions, they get that way because they have the vision. They see themselves as champion, even though the circumstances say anything but at one point. Every single champion went through a phase where they were not known as a champion. Yet they believed it first, and then they saw it. So many times, believers and those who believe in healing, we're looking at our bodies, we're looking at other people. Well, this person that believed in healing died. So how do I know healing is for real? How do I know I'm capable of being healed because so-and-so died? The healed mindset, you're healed irregardless. Just like the champion's mindset. When Muhammad Ali suffered the 5 losses, he didn't hang his head down and say, well, I'm not the greatest anymore. I lost. Many champions will tell you that they saw themselves holding that medal, having that medal put on them. In spite, they didn't turn around and think to themselves, well, that ain't the truth. They did not allow themselves to. They go walking around, well, that's a lie. I'm not the greatest. If they had done that, they never would have reached the level they were at. This is what the healed mindset consists of. You see yourself healed in spite of what the physical reality may tell you. You believe it, and no one can convince you otherwise. It may sound like a lie to other people, but to myself, it's not a lie. I am believing it. The most important thing is to be true to yourself and true to what God says about you. Not to what everybody else says or their perception of you. Do you see yourself as healed? Yes or no? There were times I experienced that. But here's something I would tell you. Most people will go around saying, I'm healed, trying to convince themselves instead of already being convinced. And then when you question them on it, then it is a matter of they are speaking it to try to get it. They're speaking it to try to believe it. But if it sounds like a lie to yourself, then it is a lie. An example for myself, of successfully walking through this was when my foot was broken. And when I was traveling to go to work, and I was at Hardee's, struggling even to walk because I could not put no pressure on it. My foot was all swollen up and black, black, black. I don't think there's a lick of blue in it. But yet, my mindset stayed not on the fact I was in a huge amount of pain. I wouldn't lie about how much pain I was in. But yet, I saw myself as healed. I was not letting the pain convince me I wasn't healed. I was not letting the swelling tell me I wasn't healed. I was believing that I was healed. And then what happened? That's when I slammed my foot on the pavement, felt the pain, the intense pain, but then the swelling went down because I could wiggle my toes. Then the pain left, which that's a shortened version of it. The believing always comes first. But if it sounds like a lie, if you're saying it without conviction, then you are just doing the claim it till you make it game. And that is a game. And as long as you're simply claiming and there is no truth behind it, there's no conviction behind it, then guess what? You're lying to yourself. Now, during that time with the broken foot, an older woman walked up to me. She had a cane on, and I actually prayed for her, and she was healed. She threw her cane away right then and there, threw it off. This was at a Hardee's. She threw her cane off in the grass. But she asked me, "Are you okay? You don't look okay. You need to go to the hospital." I said, "Ma'am, I don't care what it looks like. I'm healed." She thought I was crazy. But I believed I was healed. I was not letting the circumstance dictate to me what the truth is. But if it sounds like a lie, then it is. But this is where the imagination comes in. You will not find any sports champion that did not use their imagination to see themselves as a champion in their sport. They saw themselves that way first. And no matter how many losses they suffered, look at the home run king, Babe Ruth. Most home runs. He also struck out the most. But guess what? Did that make him think any less of himself? No. As far as he was concerned, every time he got up to bat, it was going to be a home run. To the point. that he would point exactly where the ball was going to go. When you know the truth and believe the truth, then no one can convince you otherwise, even if all the evidence points to, nope, that ain't the truth. How do you get there? By not believing the circumstances, by believing the truth, by using your imagination and seeing yourself as whole, and continuing on in spite of how you feel. Many people say they can't do it, but they can. In whatever career you've chosen, there was a point you saw yourself doing it. When you go to purchase a car, you saw what type of car you were going to get. This is the healed mindset. When you are firmly convinced, that's why scriptures say a double-minded man shall receive nothing. That's not God condemning you to it. That is because if one moment you're healed and the next moment you're not, and if you're going from outside observation and you're going back and forth, then guess what? Are you believing? No, you're not. You're believing the lie. You're convinced of the lie, and you're not convinced of the truth. You're letting the circumstances dictate to you what the truth is. That's not how faith works. And faith does work. I really want you to contemplate on this. Now, and the truth is, the healing will come about and you will be able to acknowledge it the moment you are fully convinced. But so many times we think it's a long drawn out process. So that's why we have the progressive healings, etc. Many, many, many times. Unbelievers are easier to see healed. That's because, one, they have an open heart about it. Yes, they would say, no, I don't believe in healing. But they don't have all the barricades put up. They don't have the devil putting sickness on them. They don't have all the rules and regulations that Christians have been taught. So when you speak life over them, all of a sudden they see themselves as healed and they recognize it. One time, the fellow was an atheist, as I had been, and I simply spoke 2 words. Now, he was cussing at me every which way. He was going to let me know that I was ridiculous and he did not like me and he hated me, blah, blah, blah. I was at a person's house and I was mentoring this person and teaching them scriptures. When this fella came in, he was a neighbor, came in, and the person told him, yeah, Tony's a healing minister, sees so many people healed. From that moment, he went off, calling me every name in the book, to which I'm just, okay. He turns around to go to leave. He goes to the first step of the trailer, turns around, looks at me with hate filled in his eyes. What did you do to me? I bust out laughing. Meanwhile, he starts walking up and down the steps. In fact, he was supposed to have back surgery the next day. And he started walking up and down the steps and he was like, what did you do to me? And I'm like, what? I feel great. So use your imagination. Do not let your body, do not let the pain dictate to you. You dictate to your body with your thoughts, with the mindset that because the Holy Spirit is in you, you are healed. This is the championship mindset. This is the healed mindset. Is stop trying to convince yourself. Stop chasing healing. You're not trying to get healed. You are healed. And do not let the circumstance dictate to you whether you are or are not. But think about it. Your favorite champion, whether it's tennis, I personally love Jimmy Connors. And when I played tennis in the days of my youth, he was a left-handed, I was a lefty. And my backhand was my weapon, just as Jimmy Connors was. When I would watch Jimmy Connors play, I was focused on his backhand, and it wasn't Jimmy Connors swinging. I was seeing myself, and I was seeing the power of the backhand. I was using my imagination without doing purposely. And that's not hard. We put ourselves under such stress that we think we can't do it. But yet, we don't think in terms of letters, we think in terms of pictures. Without you really realizing it, you are engaging your imagination. The problem is being engaged in a negative way. Because we're working from our circumstances. We're working from what the body is telling us. And we aren't working from the truth. But if you sit there and use your imagination and see yourself getting up out of bed with energy, going about the day's business, being comfortable and seeing it. It will happen. And you won't even know the exact date and time. All of a sudden, you've been operating health for 2 weeks. Get the championship mindset. Do not let anyone convince you otherwise. You are a champion. Be blessed. Be healed. And be a blessing. Thank you for watching my channel. Now, hit that subscribe button. Click that bell. There you go. Click it. All right. Good. Write a comment. If you would like prayer, write a comment for prayer. Give me some feedback. What about this teaching helped you? What didn't help you? Now, if you would like to partner with Outside the Four Walls Ministry, my ministry, then simply go to TonyBelieves.com. And we appreciate you wanting to partner with us to reach the lost and see everyone healed. Thank you, Jesus. Be blessed, be healed, and be a blessing.